Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Got a little distracted there because I was looking at these charts, but to the we kind of got a weird setup today. So we look here in the 10-year, and we had kind of a reversal day of sorts yesterday. We traded around here really strongly, and then we took out some levels that we normally wouldn't. Basically, this 27.5 is like an important level, right? We have appears to be below it. If we can get below, like, say 26, I think there's a good chance that we could go lower and touch at least 24. But I'm kind of seeing back and forth, and because it's been in such a narrow range, this is one that I can't really make a conclusion on. Although we're above the VWAP, so that does kind of speak to possibly higher, but it could just change so quickly. I don't know. Anyways, it's really weird that we came down so much and then we traded in a narrow range overnight. So I'm just kind of weirded out. Anyways, we do have news at 6:30. Let's see here. Why is... Well, I have to look at what the deal is with that. I downloaded the whole thing, but it's still paused. Anyways, well, let's join in the chat. Pull up the news. Morning. I'm really weirded out by the overnight action. So it's a setup that I can't call a direction on. Like that big huge move, and then it did nothing overnight.
Sounds like a great day to practice scalping.
Right. Well, I mean, we have the news, and then I think if we break out of like 26 or 28, then maybe we could have a little bit, but...
Yeah, I'm short 22, 23 right now on ZB, trying to just get a scalp on before the news. Bidding 21, might take 22. Or plus half a tick. Often get filled though here at 21.
just a heads up then, just quick recap on jobless claims. Then follow with the new orders, prices, and get
half a tick.
Okay, so let's see what we got here with the news. Unemployment is supposed to be 211. It was 214 before, and Philly Fed is supposed to be 19.7. There's a low here. Okay. 211.
jobless 10,000.
Okay.
Revised outlook to.
So the Philly Fed was good, but the other number was in line.
Looks like the data's deep across the board. Philly Fed 22.2 versus the 19.7 expected.
Should have just canceled everything since there's no reaction.
Vine was holding everybody up here.
And so the news doesn't tell us anything either. At least not the knee-jerk reaction off of the news. Man. One thing I do see that I think is a little odd is that big order at 31 quarter in the 5-year. Okay, that 27.5 is stacking more than I think it should. Oh, there's also some big numbers above us. they're stacking it on both sides.
Definitely getting some traction now.
Oops. There should be a button to change it between a stop and a limit order and just the auto. So you got all sorts of weird orders in here. So your problem here is that's kind of the edge. So if you're buying 28.5, you're calling it for a breakout.
Be interesting to see 29 trade in the 10-year. See it fail.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I already saw quite a bit trade into 28.5 and then it flipped around. So and that could mean either they trade up and well, see, they were able to push through that a lot easier. Not quite what I had in mind, but I think it is going to go offer again. Not a whole lot. I haven't really seen the pressure turn around in the 5-year. Okay. That was kind of more what I wanted to happen when I clicked in. And this 27.5 is not. I'm pulling away. As you can see, the stacking and pulling is not really. Nobody's buying this.
and Italy, the EU, Italian budget.
Okay. Well, the 5-year ticked up there. And the 07 is not as thick as one would think. But they're not trading it. And they just sold a bunch in the 30. Okay, there's a strong stack at 28.
Got long at 23 on Z.
Okay. So this iceberging there. And I don't really know which way it's going to go. The big order in the 5-year disappeared. That big order in 5-year just disappeared. We may still get a sell. Like, the thing I find interesting here is that the 5-year did tick up. Not a whole lot is hitting into 07. Not a whole lot is hitting into 28.5. They are iceberging there. That's kind of what concerned me. And it pulled.
About 24 plus 1.
See, they're taking this. They're not stacking. And it'd probably take back down. Yeah. Okay. Well, 29.5 went off for a second. Not really high of the day behavior, is it? You're getting some stacks here, though. A little bit of profit taking. Good bid. It's also, this action is not equal across the board. So I think I just stay out.
Kind of watching the 10-year struggle to stay up there.
I don't mind selling 29, that's for sure.
Fiverr's got a pretty strong bid behind it. Yeah, I mean, my first impression is I don't think we're gonna make it much higher than this.
Well, there's a good stack.
You know, unless I'm just totally wrong. A lot of selling came in near the highs, so it didn't just kind of slowly, like, gradually came up. It just, like, you know, sort of out of nowhere.
Via Darren McCafferty, Irish special backstop.
But
Will
I could
take
be
some
wrong.
time
So
to
That's
absorb agreement
the
committing
fund is
the
making
EU
new
to
highs.
creating a
think it's just been
UK-wide
walking up this
backstop.
whole
That's by
time.
Darren McCafferty.
Kind of holding everything up. I've also got a level on the 10-year at 30 from a little bit longer term perspective earlier in the month. Or when I made that big run up, I guess that was what, last week? Yeah, last Wednesday, 10th. And then it chopped in the range between 30 and a half and 14 and a half. Most of it was traded between 10 and a half and
It kind of seems to me like they're acting like 29 and 29 half wasn't actually the overnight high. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
The volume definitely died down now, at least in the other one. The 10-year, it's pretty solid, but
Well, there's still, I mean, they're still kind of pushing. It's just, I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
it feels like it's turned off though for sure. So my initial read, I guess, is wrong now.
Bund is continually making new highs.
And it's just gonna, that 30 half is probably your next line in the sand that you're gonna see actual resistance at, but you don't actually really see a big order on it. They're just kind of acting like it's no big deal, like this is just part of the range.
So I'll make a bold prediction. The Bund is at yesterday's high, or it's pit yesterday high, and 59.24. It either turns around right here or just takes a few ticks through it, and then retraces to VWAP and mid. In which case our treasuries are gonna sell off pretty good.
You have the Bund at 159.06.
The Bund is at 159.24. What did I say? Did I say 6?
Oh, I think there's, because I'm just looking at my chart and it's not making new highs. I think there's something wrong with my end.
The Bund? Yeah, the German 10-year Bund. What I'm referring to.
The symbol I have is FGBL.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, that's weird. It says it is 159.06 right now.
That's definitely not right. It's the December contract is what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, December 12/18, 5-minute chart. That's not, yeah, that just doesn't seem right.
It delayed.
I suppose that could be the case. I wonder if it'll show me a DOM of it. Let's see.
And Warlow, your colors, man. Sorry, but it hurts my eyes.
Yeah, that must be, I don't pay for Reorix data, so I must not be getting it live. I must be delayed 10 minutes.
I don't know, I think like if we can break, make some serious new highs, we could probably go up and test to 04 and ZB, or maybe even 12. Kind of part of that move, just kind of fill a gap, But
Well, it still hasn't picked up through high at market profile. Looking at.
I'm putting in an offer at 26. I'm not going to risk too much on this trade, though.
I don't know, while I was looking at that, I kind of missed that tick down, and there was some decent volume that they pushed down through, so maybe we turn around here. Or maybe at least go back to 28. It's too weak. I think I'll hit that. I could give it a shot. I want to see the 5-year. Okay, so it did tick down, but not a strong offer, but the 5-year is looking like they're gonna take a tick down too. Yes, 30 is not. I guess the 30 technically already did it. Just looking at this chart, the 30 is already down 2 ticks from its high.
You know, they finally hit the bid there in 25. Hit pretty good in 28.5 too in the 10.
I'm not seeing that 28. So
Also lined up with 6,100 contracts hitting 07 evens in the 2-year.
Wasn't able to get filled. I'm going to hold it still. Do a speaker 5 minutes.
no, that was a strong. Okay. Well, I'll hold it because I do see some indication this pressure is going to continue through.
Thanks for the heads up.
That was a pretty good downtick right there. But they're not hitting. No, they're pulling. There they are. Yeah.
Short 23.
Fund is now 8 ticks off the high.
Up as well, just
Probably not going to get filled today at all, I think.
It's about the breakfast in
I'm short 23. Still got my order in at 26.
Well, it did say 28, didn't I? And there is the big one at 27.5. So, and I think I should just keep it with, short ones. See, they took that, but it's not continuing through. Yeah, this might flip. Yeah, it flipped. There's a little bit of selling. See that? This? Okay. I was like, you're gonna let them just have 84 there, huh? Well, that offer is a little bit better than last time. It's not causing anybody in the 10-year to sell, though. Not yet. Come on. Well, there's 4. There we go. Okay, well, I was able to get the 2, but I don't know about from here. I mean, it looks like it would be good to go for more, but they're just still kind of acting dead. I thought for a scalp that was a good read. And I've kind of been saying to myself,
Around 22, 23. So I think if we can break through trade 20, then we're pretty much in the clear.
yeah.
This is on ZV, so I don't have the ZN chart.
So the thing I'm watching now is this open price, 27.5, because given that we did break the overnight high, chances are they're unlikely to close the day below the open. But given that the range overnight was so low, it's kind of iffy, right? Good.
Taylor Wilson.
And it sounds like the Fed speaker that's talking right now is kind of talking dovish.
Yeah, Bullard is a registered dove. We give it typically a dove anyway.
I think that this is the kind of spot that can mess with your head long term, because if they pull 27.5 and trade through it, and maybe even you get a rush through here, if it does that, then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna be like, oh, it was so obvious. Why didn't I just hold that? But really, I really don't know. And you could hit, now would be an okay spot if I was still in it to get out here as well, because it's still, they stacked there and it looks weak. The 5-year is just hitting a little bit too much of a support area here. Okay, well, that was a big change. Yeah.
5-year first.
If they just got to post a good offer there at 27.5.
Nope.
Get it.
ES is kind of inching its way up towards VWAP. 2807.
You kind of got some pretty solid support here in the 5-year, so if they do push through here, I think it's going to take them a little bit of time. But it kind of looks to me like ZB in particular is trying to make it happen. Oops.
I'd love to get 26, but maybe
Okay.
22's the next price I get. Yeah, like pretty strong moves down.
The liquidity below here in the 10-year isn't very much. They just gotta convince the ZF to go here, and then you probably might have some room.
We need another offer in at 22. Or
So not putting up a strong bid, that tick up. But again, the 5-year is not. A much stronger offer at that time. That's kind of funny that we're saying 12 is like a strong offer, but that's just kind of what the way it's been this morning.
on the ZB.
Okay, 22 is a lot better. Okay, now the 5-year looks like it's going for it. Yeah. Only 183 on the offer. That's not terribly. They'll try it again for sure. Nope. And a lot of that liquidity pulled. Only 3 net time.
We're looking for a break of 18 downside 30.
So that was bad.
Renfield short 22.
Continues a period.
Okay. Well, it's still not. It's gonna flip a few times probably. E-mini is not helping. Okay. Okay, so it's not. Yep. Well, they put in a strong bid there. The E-mini is going down. Hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely started taking a nosedive. Fell down much faster than it's kind of grinded up, or it was grinding up earlier and then just kind of took a dump suddenly.
Yeah. Right here at the previous low though, so it's yeah.
Well, we did technically make a at least in the 30-year, we made a higher high and a higher low. We topped out at 28. Previously, we were 27 for the highs, and the lows 20 and 21. So it's like a tick.
Yeah, That's a good point.
So good save right now. Out of 20. We can trade up to 29. I'm so slow.
Okay, well that wasn't. That's a little too close. Now it's flipped a little bit. 5-year did buy in there. I would like to get out of this before the E-mini goes. You know? Before it opens, rather. Okay. E-mini may have found some support, but
20s.
it's like so low volume it's hard to say.
Print's broken. I'm gonna go put it on one lot at 20.
It was kind of an odd reaction there.
We need Igor to go print in a lot. There we go.
It was like they were worried, and then they must have seen something there about that uptick in the E-mini, and all of a sudden they didn't care anymore. So given that there's now a 23 there,
I'm
I'm
trying to add on last part on here at night. Covered 6. That's a nice downticks.
oh, that was a really good downtick.
That was pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was a, let's see, 2,400 and all. Hit 06 and 3/4 in the 2-year real fast there. Big down.
That was a good downtick, but then they put a good bid when it ticked back up.
Are they buying 20s though on 30 is kind of the big question. Yeah, I'm putting in another short and then build.
That was a lot of volume short there in the 5-year.
Also short 19 in the 30-year.
Good luck to us.
Right.
You know, it's 16. It might go higher, but or it might go further. but I kind of got
Yeah.
on both sides on this already. So
I'd say it's pretty unusual to get this close to 16 in the 30-year and not trade it. They love to trade that 16.
Fund kind of made a new relative low, less like 30-minute low kind of thing. Yeah, I'd say about 30-minute. It's now
great.
13 ticks off of the high.
Great to see ES kind of like start rallying now. Well, we got a nice
Yeah.
bid behind us, or a bit offer behind us on 30-year at 21.
If it wasn't pre-market, I would maybe be thinking about buying the E-mini. I kind of like where it's at and how it's acting here at 2,800. Although I don't know. I'm thinking that on the E-mini that you might get a good opening drive push up, but I think that the sellers may still want to try and test this 2,800 because it's been there a couple of times yesterday and today. And here in Treasuries, I thought that once we got below 27 that it was just going to go, but like the pressure didn't really continue, so now it's kind of looking more like if it does go down that it's one of those bubble melt kind of moves that are really slow and it looks like absorption every step of the way, which are like the worst moves.
Yeah, but they're also kind of the best moves because it just shows that like the market's picking a direction and it's going there.
Well, it's the best move if you stay in it, that's for sure, yeah. Because those can
Yeah.
go really far, yeah.
Yep. I learned how to do this whole month is how to hold my positions for like 2 or 3 hours. I was in positions for 7 hours yesterday.
See, that's
Yeah, 8
not...
hours actually. Long day.
This slowness that I'm seeing, though, may just be because we're so close to the mini open, you know? They're not really willing to make a huge move before that happens.
Yeah, that's what I was. I don't think I would have got into this trade. Even if it did go ahead and go, I mean, this last like 10 minutes, usually things just kind of sit around and wait to see what the ES is going to do. Then 10 minutes after that, of course, you're still waiting to see what the ES is going to do. It's usually just back and forth, and treasuries don't like to move.
We got some interest in 19, that's for sure.
Well, they got a good offer above us, too. In ZB, that is. Now in ZF, I'm not sure what's going on here. They may be flattening a little bit.
got a pretty weak bid on the 5-year.
Yeah, that's an iceberg, though.
The end's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, but that was kind of that low from just before the market opened, and there's an iceberg there, so that's kind of like the spot where some people try and get long. Probably what's going on there. It'd be nice if they pushed through it, though.
I don't think it's really an iceberg because it's only like 3,000 contracts. Kind of the mini iceberg.
And anything over 2 to 3 in the 5-year, I consider significant.
Yeah, but I mean, like the uppers are like 24. So
Yeah, but most of that stuff pulled.
Yeah,
Usually.
you like 5K in the 5-year is like a big iceberg.
Yeah, and then it takes like 85. I would argue like 8,000, I guess, to justify or to define an iceberg in the 10-year.
Yeah. Oh, really? 8K? Yeah, I see 5s in the 10-year, and I kind of pay attention to those, but it is kind of like, I don't know. And it's not until it gets to 10, when it gets to 10, then I'm kind of like, seems like after 10, they always go through it.
bidding 19s to get out.
Yeah.
Like the momentum's kind of dying off.
So if it's going to do that, it's just robots. Yeah, just robots right there.
Right amount 19. I don't know how many plus those skilled.
There was a bit of a buy in the E-mini there.
Yeah, 18's when were bid a few times, but we only traded into it once, so kind of feeling like it's time to get out of that.
One thing I am noticing, though, is it seems like the 10-year in particular is giving you pretty good, easy to read flow if you're only going to take 1 or 2.
I'm taking 3 trades today, and first 2 were half ticks. Also, no, I took a +1 and I took a half a tick on the other one. So I think the way to play today, especially before we don't really have a direction, right?
Yeah, well, like,
Just purely scalp off board flow, take your 1s and your 2s, get out if the momentum dies.
so it's like a decent amount of movement there, right? But it's the delta change is only about 5,000 contracts. So it's kind of like you can literally just watch the bids and offers and trade it off of that.
I don't watch the delta.
I just put two. That will put these on the board for a couple around.
The bond is going.
I mean, like they could trade through 18s. It just like it's gonna take too much effort, I think.
Well, I don't know about effort because I mean it wouldn't take many contracts to push this either way, right? But it's just kind of the risk associated with the current time frame isn't very good, I think.
The ES kind of poking at the lows again. Definite profile on ZB, but not really too much for taking it down. Decent sized bid there, 900 contracts. And I mean, at least I take lower on the 10 years as well. What, are you still short?
Yeah,
Yeah, I took mine off because I'm a big bitch.
Well, you're probably wiser than I. The only thing keeping me in is the bund is weaker than it was a minute ago. So I feel like if we just even remotely get a bid and DES, it'll probably, like Seth said, probably at least test 16.
Well, everyone's calling me the day. They're calling me names for taking off my braids. So I'll just embrace it.
Oh, do you have your stream going when you didn't post the link?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's really embarrassing when you lose like $1,000.
Yeah, well, but that's the man. How do I hold on? Let me gather my thought here.
I do plan on putting the stream back though, but like I want to do with my webcam and I'm moving in the next month or so, so wait until I get my new house and get a better room sorted, because like I have my clothes drying behind me. It's a really small apartment in Japan. Like, you know, my underwear and stuff, my girlfriend's clothes are all up there, and I don't really want to stream that.
I feel like that the whole having everybody see you make like incredibly bad decisions is kind of like helpful in a way, because it gets you over the whole like ego thing a little bit, because you realize, yeah, you know what, I make really bad mistakes, and here are kind of the places where I would tend to do that, and you know, that sort of a thing. Well, there's a lot of volume there now. Here on the E-mini Open, they sold quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, the bund is just walking down, step after step. If they could get a
I'm gonna let it
bid and an ES bid here, make my day.
Probably gonna wait to see what happens at 2,800. I think.
I took 18s. Ah, man, was it a good offer? Yes, getting below 8. Should have waited.
and yet the treasuries go down.
It could recover though. Like 2,800 could be a big.
Was it the correlation worked Tuesday? Didn't work yesterday, and isn't, or what was it? No, it didn't work Tuesday. Worked yesterday. It's not going to work today.
I took that off at +1 because I was afraid that the E-mini is going to try and make an opening drive push up, and then it didn't make that opening drive push up. Their first drive is down, and yet the treasuries did go down. It's just hilarious.
Hey, you got a profit, right?
Yeah, I got the +1.
Don't worry about it. We'll be here to trade again tomorrow.
Nah, I think I did the right thing. I don't think that the risk of what the E-mini is going. I mean, that's exactly why it's maybe not a good idea to hold into the E-mini Open, because you don't know what the E-mini is going to do, and even if you do know what the E-mini is going to do, treasuries might not react the way that you think it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's really close to your target and you got a good position in the queue, it's worth it. Hold it, because it's extra volume spikes like the queue.
Oh yeah, oh
But
totally.
If you're trying to get filled like, you know, 2 ticks down, because I had my original bid in at 16, and you know, maybe it could have gone filled at 17s, but I wouldn't have moved it. So
I'm kind of wondering. I'm just watching here. We were at 27, right? Yeah, it was at 27.
we're at 28.
I'm wondering if you can get like if there's some sort of a way to have a high probability of getting a 1-tick scalp when the E-mini opens, but it would be kind of hard to pick your prices.
Just post a bid and an offer at the same time. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, the thing with the one tick is you got to know which side of it is not going to fail, right? It's kind of like if you're in a zipper around 26 and 27, you want to get out at 26 half because that's the price that's going to be easy. But the question is which side is going to get cleared first, 27 or 26? So if you have something that can tell you which side is going to get cleared first, then you have a really good one tick scalp.
But it feels that easy, then everyone would be billionaires. So, not trying to like shun your parade here, but
Well, you're unlikely to become a billionaire off of one ticks alone.
trade a 200 lot every day.
You have to be winning like 80% of the time, and as soon as you size up on it, people would catch it.
So I'm kind of feeling like going long here, but at the same time, I feel like ES is just gonna like take a dump and then like reverse and blow up like it's been doing the past like 2 days in a row. It just like trends down and then out of nowhere rallies up to the highs.
Yeah, I'm definitely scared to get long here. Just because it's not really the bias I came to the office with, but it'll probably work. I don't know, we'll see. I'm definitely gonna wait like 15 minutes probably. Wait for the ES to kind of figure its shit out.
I mean, the spot that the 10-year stopped at does kind of make me think maybe it's long now.
But I don't know how high we'd go, like maybe 23 on the 30 or 26 perhaps.
And look at that, they're actually making a good trend here. This is the one where it's like, well, I want in on this, but as soon as I get in, that's when they're going to stop.
What's the other thing about streaming, so I just remembered this point was you gotta talk a lot when you stream, right? Like one day I was just sitting there defending my terrible position. And I was just like looking for things to talk about and why it was looking okay, and then it just like kept going against me. Like, yeah, this is fine. Look at that offer we got.
Well,
Just like blow through it.
see, that's the thing, is you can't care how many people or who watches. like for me, it's like the primary reason I do it is so that I have the recording leader, and if people want to watch it,
Yeah.
then that's great. Because I definitely got into that too. Like, I think sometimes talking about what I'm seeing in the order flow can kind of help me focus. But yeah, as soon as I start talking about something else beyond that, I get unfocused really quickly.
Yeah, well, the issue I had was I get focused on the wrong thing. I'll be like, oh, look at all this selling pressure, right? But it's just absorption. So it's like, yeah, it's the opposite of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like it when people try to come in and criticize the trade while it's on, because it's like it's not helpful, because your natural human emotion is going to be to fight against them now, and so they've kind of ruined your objectivity at that point.
Isn't that kind of a good thing though? Because it like word. You know, I had a few trades where a couple of guys were saying they were taking the other side, and it's kind of interesting just to hear their opinions. I know it's different saying I'm taking the other side versus your trade.
Right.
There's a difference, so yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I really like to see in chat, and I don't even necessarily like want everybody to post what their position is, but because the problem with when people post their position is then you're tempted to try and follow them, right? But I like to see people post their impressions of what's going on, because then if I'm like, well, this kind of looks like it's about to go, and then somebody else says, well, this is going nowhere, and I don't think there's any opportunity here, that's kind of like a big warning sign to me that, like, you know what, maybe you're not looking at this right.
We actually have kind of a downtrend in play actually on the 30. If you look at a 30-second chart. Highs of 28, 24, 22. So failure to break 22 on the 30 years, kind of a series of lower highs. Last low being 17, 18, 20-ish. Something you could play off. I'm kind of looking at trying to maybe get short again at 20.
Well, the E-mini took quite a dump there, but they did touch one support area. We'll see if it holds. Kind of looks like they're already right here at 27.96, that they already might be turning around and might take another look at it lower. I think I should take that one short right there.
Might even take 19.
Seeing there's too many big prints there. They're saying that this is the resistance area. Then you have to go down and test it again first, unless they just straight up blow through here. But and there was a lot of icebergs through here in this zone as well. So I think that makes this a really good spot to go short. That's good. Okay, so there's lots of volume both ways.
Yeah, so there was a pretty big pretty big offer at 21 on ZV before ES Open. We traded through it and they kind of slapped it back on there. That's could be used to maybe get trade going.
Seems like there's a lot of interest both ways in the E-mini here. It makes me a little uncomfortable, because that could be a recipe for this to keep going. Okay.
Damn.
I mean, this is kind of interesting. I haven't seen this in the E-mini before, because they had a pretty strong set of buying there, but they are getting resistance every step of the way. They might just keep pushing through it, yeah.
Important thing, they're willing to smash their head against resistance. Still kicking myself not getting short at 19. Pretty big sell in the 10-year.
Try this one more time. Because if they're able to push through this and get back above 2,800, then I'd say buyers are pretty strong.
Offering 18 to get support.
Okay. So what does this tell us? I think this tells us that I've got the wrong price. Right price is probably more like right there. Yeah. Whew. Okay. So they kind of ran into something there. I don't know if that was a buy event or if that is a like this can continue to go lower sort of a thing. There's like some stops or something. That's interesting. I've never noticed that before either.
There's a battle going on here.
They are very much reacting to ticks up and down in the E-mini here.
Yeah, it's like just watching the left. Okay, we go through it. We don't go through it. We bounce off it. Like every single reaction is just very potential read, just like in poses.
Okay.
Hope some of the ES guys can look at bonds and be like, oh, hey, they're at lows, and then buy it up. That'd make me happy.
Sitting on an even number price, probably not. Okay, that was. There's some buyers coming right there.
They're trying to sell the 30-year now. 10-year's not reacting.
Yeah, they weren't able to keep it below that 2800 level for very long. I'd say that buyers are really strong in the E-mini. I was trying to short it on based on them at least making another test, and it did not work.
Short on the ES.
Yeah.
Too bad. Bidding 17 for my short is like not going with the power that I expected it to.
So now I'm seeing something a little bit more
I might go now, but whatever.
curious in the
10 minutes.
Yeah,
Change
like we
month
got
on
like
month for
200 on the
September,
bid, and no
looking for an
one's
S-
trying to
5%,
take it. It worries me a
4% in the
lot.
range.
I just kind of got the larger turns wrong there, because that's not, you know, right there in the E-mini. That's like it should have been short. Now it's actually giving me the trade that I wanted.
Damn.
See, I would prefer short in ZN, and it's kind of, you know, but why? The only reason I think I would prefer short is because the offers are stronger, and they've been stronger all session.
Hmm. Hey, I guess ES just wanted to shake everyone out. The bidding 17.
So I just noticed this right here. Nope. Okay, that one didn't work. See, I think this is where I get screwed up, and I need to be careful because I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it is a buy. Maybe they're going to take it up, but then there's actually a really good chance that we just get back up to 28 and it turns around and we continue to stay in this range.
Now,
Okay, so here's 28.5. I see the 6K again, but it's not huge. Well, so they take that down. There was a 5 on it. The 5-year has not gotten nearly as high as it did last time. Does that mean that they're going to continue moving up?
level of unity of Brexit. I mean, so
Hmm.
one minute.
I mean, this is the price that I'd want to sell. If I'm right, though, I think it should stick around here for a while.
My percent for lead.
There's a double bottom on ES.
It could be. That kind of looks like they're going to go through, though. Yep. No, it looks like I gave up too early on the E-mini short. Well, they're looking like it's actually going to push through. A strong bid. Nobody's buying it. Not yet. But it looks like could do something interesting here. Oh, it's an iceberg. Oops. What the heck? Nobody's selling 28.5. Come on. This was like, I wish that I hadn't screwed up because there was a 6K and there was a 4K. And they just blew through both of them like there was nothing. Hmm. The level 2 is just a little too crazy, isn't it? And level 2 is like crazy right now. CS is buying a little bit. There we go.
Milk, I can't have it.
All eyes on 28, I guess.
Okay, well. Yeah. I think that was a valiant call, but it's not. I'm not going to risk that going through there. Yep. Okay, but then just pull. I think they're going to hit it. Yes. Yes. Oh, fine. Fine. Hmm. If this does break, I might have a good case to get short. I feel like I have a good case to get short here at 30 anyways. Like, they traded it and now they're already iceberging at 30. It is a big iceberg. Okay. I think I did the right thing there in E-mini too. Well, actually, I could have gotten the full 200.
Pretty hard reads. Nice. Not really higher just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're printing like, 5 and 6Ks on both sides here. So this is a stronger bid. The mini did push low there. Come on, you can do it. Okay, they're trying.
Block buy.
Oh shit. Come on. Nice. I don't know, got really slow there now. Interesting that was what they didn't like, huh? I think now that we're to this volume node, they should get to the other side of this node. They can hold this here for just a little bit. Yeah.
Want to see one of my favorite accessories? 3 of my favorite ones? These aren't really
That was good.
accessories.
So now this low volume node here is going to give them trouble, probably. Okay. They didn't get through, though. Oof. A strong wave of buying came through there. Good deal. And they busted through that last high with Gutso. Yeah, they busted through that previous pivot high with Gutso. Let's see if they can make it above that VWAP. Yeah, that 28's gonna still kind of the killer in it.
Of the 12th of October. Strength 99.
This is like the top of that range, and they want to sell the treasuries, and the bottom of the range they want to buy the treasuries, and they're making a big deal out of what is essentially like a 6-tick range in the E-mini. It's kind of funny, but I think that kind of says to me that robots are in charge right now still. Come on. I don't see them. It's at the top of that range. They're not going to take it, apparently.
move their heads. Except this little squirrel that is adorable, a baby pelican. They can't move their heads.
Positive. Barnier's progress. Thus, as the Brexit transition period length wasn't at the summit.
If they can try this other side. It looks like they might want to come back and try this range. When they blew through so quickly.
Brexit progress now for extra summit. Thus, says positively.
The volume really flattened out there too. Okay. Back to the other side, bond's not responding. Oh, good deal. Now they're responding. Yeah, now you can sell it. There you go.
Thus, says 27 would be minded about longer transition.
Well, that was a good buy spike, and it is not. And it came back. I think I should, just in case.
Thus, says leaders agree to accelerate home reform.
Okay. That's good. That's really good. Come on. No. Okay.
Goes on to say committee evaluating.
And I guess that's it for me.
82.
You want to know 3 of my favorite figurines?
One. CIA natural.
Yo, Seth, nice trading today.
Radcliffe recognized backstop.
Yeah, thanks. I was a little pissed about yesterday, so I'm really happy to have been able to work that out today.
Well, trading's hard. So it happens. And just because you have a bad day doesn't necessarily mean that you're, it's your fault. You could make all the right choices and lose money on the day because the market just decides to fuck you that day.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like yesterday was like a day. Well, I don't know. I always kind of do this thing where I'm like, well, okay, clearly today's not my day, so now we can experiment or try or whatever. But I don't like do anything to actually prove to myself that that's what I would have actually done if I was going live, you know?
You're just
So,
kind of wasting your time, right?
yeah.
Gambling trades. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, I need to like tell myself, you know, switch the account in Ninja Traders or something like that, just so that I can say like all of these ones they don't count or something. But I just just felt like yesterday was kind of a tilt day, you know. So I wish, you know, I closed that one because I saw that it was kind of going back up and it was 8:30, so it was time to stop, but it looks like it's still going. So selling 30 there was not easy.
Yeah, I'm in the queue to try and get short at 28 on EB. I don't really. I wish I got the field. We just run into so much volume up there. I was like, this is gotta run out of steam. So I was just kind of hesitant, just really scared about it.
Yeah. Well,
46 in the queue at 28.
130. Oh wait, jeez, that sucks.
Yeah. So like 3 ticks? No, not 3. I can't count. I'm terrible at math. 6 ticks? Like I'm trading 6 ticks in the low. Oh well.
Well, the thing is when we were up there, so if you look at my thing, you can see I took a -1 there, and then I took it like one step higher to short. So like I saw all of the volume trading there, and I actually saw them kind of push through it. Like there was like a 6K iceberg and a 4K iceberg, and they sold through both just like that. And I was like, well, that's a short. And sure enough, I got a tick out of it. And then it was like they didn't do anything with it. So when it ticked back up, I saw the level break set up, and I was like, yeah, that's not something we want to be in. So, but then the thing that was so weird was they did the level break setup, and they formed a zipper up there. And
Are you gonna be trading like a 5K account or a 10K account or something? Is that why you're trading one lot?
yeah, it's going to be a 5K account. It's not even that. I mean, when I tried last time, I only had like 1,400 in there. So.
Were you risking like a tick a day or something, or?
So not a tick a day. Just like I was saying yesterday, my goal is like to average 4. I actually think you could do better than that. Like when we were talking yesterday about like when you look at the true range and you take a third of that, you know, based on the true range of just my regular session, should be able to get more than 4. But I get to that in a second. I actually found something really interesting when I was looking at that range. But the way that I look at it is more like what is like my what's my maximum drawdown that I wanted to have, and the drawdown should be enough that if I go through my maximum drawdown that I don't crash the account, you know. So that's why I did it with 1,400. I think in theory it could work, but obviously I still have some problems, right? So the question is, do you want to be able to still trade live and work through your problems? Which I think would be better because you do learn more when you're trading with a live account. And I think that probably to be able to hold that and do that probably would need a 5K account. But I think it would take me a really long time to save up 5K. So I'm going to try it again with more than 14, I hope. But we'll see what happens. Still, I think we're still a long ways off.
Yeah, I really think it's a lot easier to trade with a larger account. Or just at least with more risk per day, because being able to scale in has been like a godsend in my profitability. I've been kind of preaching this for a while, but like when you're trading a one lot, you're all in and you're all out. So Igor talks about this, but basically your execution and your guess has to be perfect to make profit on a one lot. If you trade like he does, and you just kind of buy everything above this price or buy everything below this price or whatever, with like a target, you only have to nail the exit. And your execution can be terrible, but you just have to be right on the day. Have the right call. Like, we're gonna go down or we're gonna go up. You know, instead of saying we're gonna go from point A to point B, you're just like, we're gonna touch point A at some point. So, I mean, you see his charts, and he's got like, you know, he's like buying all the way down and averaging down the whole way, and then it hits target and he cashes everything out. And you know, just having a two lot to trade means you kind of have the double ability to do that. Like that last trade you took, where you said you took -1 and then you got +2 on it. If you had a larger account, you could have just like, if you traded two lot, right? You could have gotten in on a one lot and just like let it go against you a little bit, and then say like, oh hey, it's still holding. Your trade idea is still there, and you just got a better entry. So it's not necessarily like averaging down, but it's you're getting a better entry. Does that make sense? Because your play is still there. You know, it's like, we're not going to break this price, and we're going to go touch that price later. So
Right.
anything in this zone is like a sell area, or anything in the zone is like a buy area. Of course, you need to be like super careful, because you know, you just start like averaging down the whole way, which is not the way to do it. Then you will get your account blown up on a bad day. But
Yeah, the problem I always ran into on the sim when I mess with two contracts, and I think it's not necessarily the two contracts thing, but rather kind of what I was trying to do. But I'll be like, okay, here's where I want to get in, and then it'll go against me one, and I'll say, oh, you know what? I think I just guessed the wrong. You know, I didn't see the end of the range correctly. But now I can definitely see, now that we've gotten another tick, that I'm really seeing that this is the edge. And so I'll take that one too. And then it'll end up going against me. And then I just end up taking my stop on two contracts. And that's what I was always end up doing, you know, work.
Like, in that regard, you're kind of averaging down. So like, let's say you see it trade up.
Right.
You put in your first contract, right? It brushes your stop, and then it ticks in your favor. You put on the second contract, and it might still go against you. Like, you get stopped out, but at least you gave it a bit of a like a chance, you know. Say like when you're trading, you don't trade in anticipation. You kind of wait for the market to tell you where it's going to go. So like, you don't put in your buy order at VWAP to play a VWAP bounce. You wait for it to bounce off, and you buy like 1 or 2 ticks above, right?
Right.
So let's say you're playing a VWAP bounce, okay, on ZN right now. Okay, it's trading the VWAP. You might put your first order in at, maybe if it gets up to 28.5, and then it goes down and trades VWAP again, but doesn't trade through. You put in your second order at 28, and it upticks, and then now you're good. You know, it could still go against you, but kind of saved yourself a tick on a one lot by buying the better price. You still get stopped out on two, but you know, it's better than being all in two. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just something to think about, because like, when I started doing that, I felt a lot more free, and I was like, even when I was trading a lot on demo on CN, like, I'd start off on 2, I'd take a tick on one lot and take +2 on the other one. Just kind of feeling like, okay, I made one mistake, I can scratch it, it's all right. I scratch the other half. Gives me that confidence to kind of hold the next one for maybe a little bit more. And you know, even today, like I took a trade where I basically got half a tick, because I got +1 on half the size and scratched the other half.
Yeah. Let's see, that one's kind of more the one that I'm interested in doing, is I want to be able to, you know, enter with both lots. But, you know, just like this trade that we took up here is a really good example. You know, I think I took 30 or 30 half, and then I was able to get 2 on it. And today, you know, because it was the time of day, and I like to stop at 8:30. Otherwise, I end up going to work late if I try and hold something, because it's like after 8:30, sometimes it takes until like 9:10 for that trade to work out, right? So I only took the +2, but I kind of knew that there was a chance that it could go further. And what I would really like to be able to do is to just take the +2 on that one and then let the other one ride. And then that way, if it doesn't work out and I'm really dumb and I hold it all the way to where my stop is, if I let it go all the way back to my stop, I would still just break even.
Yep,
You know?
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just having the second lot makes you ridiculously, like, you have double the flexibility.
Yep. So at that point, it's like you can actually set your risk to be the price level that you can set your risk at can be essentially the same as your profit level, and so now your win rate can be much higher.
Yeah, and also, like, Waddle mentioned this on a few trades he does, where, let's say we're having these really volatile days where our pullbacks are like 6 ticks instead of 4. You can trade half your size, put your stop
Yeah.
as far. You're still risking the same amount per trade, but because you have the more money that you're willing to risk, you can risk less, if that makes sense. You got more to risk, so you can risk less because you can kind of pad it a little bit, give it a bit more room, taking less size, things like that. I would think it'd be impossible to trade an account less than like $5,000 on ZN. I think.
Yeah. I mean the funny thing is the funny thing is I've been doing just the one lot for a long time, and you can get really good at picking the spot, and you can get. I've found that I'm pretty good at just always getting in on the edge, which is to say that I'm always getting at least one tick on it. But it's just that I don't take the one tick. I kind of try and let it, give it a little bit of room. So, and for me at least, it didn't seem. I didn't feel like that the pressure of it being a live account really changed my behavior a whole lot. So, I don't know. But it's kind of, limited on the options, so we just kind of take what we get. We'll see if this e-mini thing keeps working out, and I work something really good on the e-mini. I might try doing the combine with the e-mini, because chances of beating the combine with the e-mini are a lot higher.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you make a lot of good trades on the ES, so I'm kind of wondering, like, why are you sitting here spinning your wheels on CN, and you're seeing you make these baller trades on ES all the time?
Well, that's just because you can get one trade in ES and it looks so great because you catch the thing you got to realize is that trade that I'm taking in the ES is like the equivalent of taking 2 ticks in ZN.
Yeah, but then you can get your +2 a day.
Right. It's there's just so much more leverage on that instrument, so the win rate overall, like, it's profitable. I think over the past, I don't know about yesterday, added a little bit, so it might be kind of close, but the win rate on it is just not there. The win rate says to me that at some point you're liable to just go on a total destructive streak and blow out your account in a week, sort of a thing. So
but would you do that though? Would you just continuously follow your plan, which doesn't work, and blow your account up?
I would hope I would hope that I would continue to trade this strategy. Like, that's the whole thing is we need to make sure that we need to reduce the number of losers in a row on it, and that just means that I need to get a little bit better of a feel for the e-mini and a little bit better filters on it.
The thing I wanted to bring up, and again, this probably sounds like really terrible advice for anyone listening, so I apologize. But, they say you should risk like 2% of your account per day. Okay, that's like for scalping. 2% a day is they say it's like what 1% max per trade or something. But on scalping, you can't really do that, so you do it on the day. I don't really think it's realistic to risk 2% a day on an account that's less than like $20,000. Just because the numbers are small. There's too much noise in the market. So, like, willing to risk like 10% of your account on the idea that you're not so terrible that you're going to actually take 10% losers, 10 days in a row and blow your account up, I think is actually kind of realistic. Just have the self-awareness to say, like, I'm going to risk 10% a day. I know this is really risky, but I'm not going to take 10% day losers 10 days in a row. Like, what's the probability of that happening realistically?
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole thing with the 1% for scalpers is that you could totally lose like 50 times in a row and still have an account. But really, to realistically do that, your account has to be large enough that 1% is equal to, the margin that's required for one contract, right? Which is going to put you up at, at least a $5,000 account in Xen. But I think it's better to start the other way around. Like I've always, I remember some people telling me, like, just figure out what is it that you need, what is it that you want to get, and then just only get that and be happy with it. And I don't think that's a good way to start. I think the way that you need to start is you need to look at what is the average rotation in the instrument that you're trading, and what is a reasonable amount that you can take out of that rotation, because obviously you're not going to get the very edge every time. So it's just like here in ZN, if the average rotation is 4 to 5 ticks and you're not taking the exact edge, that means that you're going to end up taking +2 a lot.
Well, +1, because you might buy up after you don't get your fill on limit orders.
So that's kind of where you have to start in terms of like what should be my average win and average loss and everything like that. Anyways, I have to go now, but see you tomorrow.